Hello, and welcome to the Awakening Spiritual Gifts broadcast. Super excited to be here today, you guys. How are you? I always love to hear what's going on in your world. If you are new here, if you haven't watched, kind of explain how it works. This is a place where we can kind of discuss and talk about all different kinds of things. And I'm happy to be here and even help out and coach through something or share insights around whatever it is that you're working through in your life. So feel free, you can ask questions about spiritual gifts, a general reading, if you'd like to see what comes up, just a general message for you. If there's any struggles, blocks, you can just comment below. If you are not able to watch this live, we have some fun options for you. So you can always watch before, during, or after, or you can ask questions, not watch. Of course, you can watch anytime, but you can actually ask questions before, during, or after the show. So you can message us, you can email, or you can even comment here and we'll add it to our database. And the next live, we'll be able to answer things for you. So even if you're watching the replay, we got you. Like, we're watching out for you. But this is a time, like, it's very interactive. We are streaming to a few different places today. So I want to say hello to our YouTube community, our Developing Your Spiritual Gifts community, as well as those that are on the Intuition Gym page. So there's lots of places that we're at today. So I just want to send a shout out and send some love. So I'd love to start last week. Hold on, I'm going to get centered on my pillow on my chair. I have a little thing for my back. But last week I did not do an energy read of the day. And so I would love to just start with that today to see what's going on around us, what's kind of going on collectively with everyone on the planet and how it's affecting us personally. So I'm going to start with that. Again, if you haven't seen my broadcast before, I usually will just kind of share what comes in and the way that it comes in to the gifts and skills that I have been able to develop over the last many years. I'm not some super like magical guru that is doing anything magical or mystical or anything that everyone else cannot do. We all have our ability to tap in, to receive. We have our intuition. And I truly believe that our intuition and our, there's different levels and types of intuition, but really it's like we've all kind of got the primal one type, but we've also got these spiritual abilities where we all have the ability to listen and to receive. For me, it's training and learning how to really hear kind of the voice of God guiding us in our life. And that's kind of my definition of being connected to him as my source. And then I ask questions and I just pay attention to the feelings I have, the impressions, the body sensations, also the sight. And I do see energy with, just see energy and light with my physical eyes. So it came on about 10 years ago. No, more than that. Oh, goodness. About 12 years ago, 13 years ago. It was super overwhelming. It took me a few years to not be like overwhelmed and want to shut down and live like a hermit because of all the things I was picking up from everyone and all the things I was seeing. So I just kind of really learned and kind of honed that skill and what's coming in. Anyway, so I'm going to kind of share what I see and kind of the patterns and the definition. But you guys are welcome to comment anytime while I'm doing this. All right, so let's see what's going on around us right now. Okay, so I'm seeing some heart energy coming in for a lot of people. I'm seeing, like yesterday, it was interesting. I kind of saw this almost like a tear, like water energy, where like these tears were like washing away it was like the tears and the emotions were washing people, but almost moving them into the next area that they're going into in life. So it was almost like, well, no time to hang on to backwards, but you got to honor these emotions and feel these emotions. So that was just yesterday. So today I'm seeing this heart energy, and it feels like we're just getting a little bit of kind of a pulsating, for lack of a better word, punch in our heart, like boom, boom, like we're just kind of getting hit in our heart and hit with some of these emotions. And when that happens, I still see some of that the crying energy. The words that I'm hearing are that it's sanctifying. So that's kind of beautiful. This is just your tears and the emotions that you're feeling around whatever situation that you're experiencing in your life and what we're experiencing in the world and everything. It just feels like these emotions and these tears are sanctifying. In a way, it's making this suffering or the struggle that we're going through, making them holy. So that's kind of cool. Like, this is sacred suffering. This is holy. What that means is that we're not going through stuff just for no reason, just to make us feel like crap. Like, that's not the purpose. This is like, it's for a purpose, and it's to sanctify and to purify us and to elevate us to the next level of whatever, to strengthen our muscles, to our spiritual muscles, to elevate us, to give us new perspectives, to help us learn how to forgive and love and find joy amidst pain. So there's a lot of purpose to some of this, even though there are the emotions of it and kind of the emotional things in the heart there. It feels like it could, if we resist and label it as bad and evil and, oh, this is horrible, it feels like that actually will make it a little worse. So if we could really lean into like the gratitude of the situations, feeling kind of gratitude for the struggles and gratitude for the growth that will come. I know that's not always easy, but if you can do that, then it will help lessen the pain. I'm kind of reminded of Viktor Frankl. Have you guys read his book, Man's Search for Meaning? I love the comments. Hey, Mitchell. Hey. Have you guys read Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning? So he was a Jewish man during the Holocaust, and he went to concentration camps, but he was actually I think he was a psychologist. And so he was technically a doctor, but even though it was through psychology, but because he held that title, he was able to kind of help and volunteer and help in different places in the concentration camps. But he spent a lot of his time observing and watching, obviously he saw a lot of death, and he saw some people that should have passed away sooner live longer, and he saw some that that passed away quickly. He also saw some that had hope and like, oh, we're going to be saved. We're going to be saved by this date. And they were sure that by a certain date, they would be liberated. And then as soon as that date came and went, then as soon as they no longer had the hope for that date, then they quickly died after that. So he just really observed all these things. But he said something interesting where he said, there's a quote that I'm trying to think of the exact phrasing, but suffering ceases to be suffering the moment that you have meaning. And so that's why it was a man's search for meaning. And he developed this whole like therapy system around like finding meaning in your suffering. And the moment you find that meaning, then it ceases to be suffering. And so that's kind of the message for everyone today, is that to find the purpose, to find the meaning, and then it will help lift some of the suffering out of it, because now you have purpose and you can sanctify it for that. It is sanctified for a purpose. And so then all the sacrifice and the struggle and the things that you do, then you can kind of lay that upon the altar, and then you can receive by those, the laws, God's laws, that you can receive from that. The sacrifice, right? It's Comes some laws of compensation. So, all right. Well, that's kind of a fun message today. So that's kind of my invitation to you guys is how can you find meaning and purpose in what you're going through right now and what you're feeling and what you're going through? Because there's a lot of people going through a lot of stuff right now. Speaking of a lot of people going through a lot of stuff, what are you guys experiencing right now? What are you going through? How can I help you today? Let's see. I do have, oh my goodness. I forgot to check or I didn't forget to check something, but I do have to pull up to see if we had any messages in. I normally have it up next to me on my screen. So while you guys are leaving some comments, I want to hear from you guys. What are you working through? What are you struggling with? What are you being asked to sanctify, or what are you trying to find purpose in right now? Or what have you found purpose? Maybe you already have. That would be pretty cool. So I want to hear from you. Go ahead and put them in the comments below. And then I also have something exciting to share. Okay, let's see. And a reminder too, we are streaming a few different places. So let me scroll up through these comments. You guys are quiet today. Okay, well, then I will share with you some of what we've got. And I also just wanted to pull this up. Okay, so I have got someone who wrote in. I've actually got two that I'll go ahead and read today. The first one came in from Candace, and she just wanted to do just like, hey, can I just have like a message or a general read for me today? So I wanted to reach out and say, hi, Candace, and let's see what comes up for you. Okay. So I see a lot of, also too, for watching for the first time, I like to, even though I can see a lot of light and energy, I kind of put down a little, like a cyclops glasses over it. I like to kind of hide from view, so I'm not really being invasive to people. So the only time that I will open up and actually go in is when I have permission. That was one of the things I really had to learn. So by asking a question, you do give permission for me to look at your energy. And obviously it's just looking at layers of it. I'm just looking at the outer and kind of like, well, what's coming up. There's different levels of like where I can view. And so it's just kind of the general quick things on what's coming up. So, so what I'm kind of seeing for you today, Candace, is that I do see some, it looks a little bit like a melancholy energy is what I would describe. Like it just feels a little bit like, it's not extremely heavy, but it's just kind of like it's just kind of a meh. Like there's just not a lot of excitement or energy. This could be that you are feeling a little tired or fatigued, even maybe a little bit under the weather. It feels like it's a little bit, maybe you might be struggling to get some of the zest and kind of the energy in life. I do see a lot of this energy coming in around your eyes, and it's just like the eyes are kind of looking downward in this energy, the way it moves through. So it just feels a little bit like, just maybe just a little discouraged and not seeing kind of the light and the hope and the joy that can be there in life. And so it just feels a little bit of a downward. I do see that, like I said, the lack of energy, but it does also feel like perhaps you had maybe spent more energy than you had, or maybe you ran faster than you had strength. or you emptied your cup trying to do something or take care of others, and it feels like your cup's a little empty. So definitely immerse yourself in some self-care and in loving yourself, giving yourself lots of compassion and grace, and doing things that are going to bring life to you and to bring you back, to restore you to more energy and to focus. So that is beautiful. And so I'm grateful that you asked that, because I think that we can all learn from that, right? So yes. Oh, I'm loving this comment. And I've got one more from Jasmine that I'll do. And then of course you guys can totally comment here. I'm gonna pull this up. Like, yes, Nicole, these emotions, these struggles and emotions are sanctifying. Yep. Everything coming up is the sorrow, the pain, the uncomfortable, the terrifying is all coming up to be healed. Yes, we've been given opportunities to be purified. We're being cleansed and sanctified to support us and to better fulfill our purposes. Like, absolutely. Like, have you guys ever, I love the word like purifying. I love all these words, right? Purification, purify, sanctification, like all of those words. But have you guys ever heard about the process to purify silver or like metals? Or are you guys familiar with it? I mean, it's like you just keep having to put it in the heat and keep putting it in the heat over and over and over. And then it just, and the more you do this, and it can help, and it can like do this little process of continuing being in the heat. But as you do it, it continues to purify this metal. And those who are working with the metal, at least from what I've heard about the silver, is that they know it's done and it's purified when they can see their reflection in it. And I think that's so symbolic. Like, you know, as we are one, you know, for me, it's like I want to be one with God in mind, in heart, in purpose. I believe that there's a reason why Jesus Christ and his sacrifice was called the atonement, or at one-ment, where we are one with him. And when we're one with him, we're one with the Father, and we're one with, right? Like, I just believe that as we are purified and we are, that we have more and more light, then we are more like him. We are more connected. And that, and so I love that little symbolism there about, you know, so we are like the metal, we are being purified. And how do we know that we're more purified? When his reflection is through us. And so I kind of think of it like that, kind of fun. So, all right. Okay, I'm going to go to Jasmine. Jasmine had a question, wanted to have me look at something for her. And she said, I would love to know what's going on with my energy, or with my energy level, or whatever comes up. I had a terrible allergy attack this weekend in Moab. So let me look at what's going on for you, Jasmine. And I know this was a few days ago, so I don't know if your allergies are still acting up, but we're gonna look at this for you. Okay, let's see here. Okay, interestingly enough, I do see some of those, an allergy type, well, an irritant. I'm going to say the word irritant. I do see an irritant type energy, and it's kind of in the eyes, but it actually is coming from the mind and from up above here. And I can see some kind of swirling thoughts. And I would actually just maybe even encourage you to maybe ask yourself some of these questions about, like, what else are you allergic to? So here's, and be really open to what it is that you could be allergic to. Because you can actually have allergic reactions for things like an idea, a thought, a person, an environment, a situation, people. I mean, like, it's so funny, but like your system can literally be like, oh, this is irritating me. And you can start having allergy symptoms just from something in your mind, or your mind, or your emotions, or your environment, that is not necessarily like an official physical allergy, but your body can sure as heck react like it is. So where it's kind of coming from the mind, I would say there's something there that maybe you're wrestling with I would even maybe say, oh, what is this? Okay, hold on. There's something there with that connected. It almost feels like maybe there's other people's opinions or thoughts, or there's situations, there's things around you going on that are just like not really settled with, and it's not really sitting right with you. And it does even want to come out. I don't know if you have asthma at all. Like sometimes that can manifest as coughing. But I do see, and if whether or not the like asthma has actually manifested in you physically, I do see some connections here with like a coughing and a breathing, like I feel like it's smothery. It feels kind of like a thick smoke. You want to cough it out. Like, no, something about the situation or whatever is not sitting right with you. And I would also just recommend to make sure that your voice is being heard and that you're able to express whatever it is that may not be sitting right with you right now, whether it be with a person, a spouse, a situation, making sure that you're able to at least speak into it. And then also to have a conversation about what will work for you and what doesn't. Like just because somebody has, if we're not happy with something, we don't have to just take it all the way. Like sometimes there could be something to negotiate or to discuss or say, like, hey, this doesn't work for me. And how can we make it work otherwise? Like, can we shift some things or make it, come up with some other solutions that make it more bearable for you? And then the last thing is if it's something you absolutely have to deal with, this is really cool. And it's totally helpful, is that to make sure that you're choosing into it. And what I mean by this is there's a lot of like, oh, I have to use, and I'm saying this in general, like for everyone, like sometimes we have these thoughts. We sometimes have thoughts that are like, well, I should do this, or I should do this, or I have to do this. Heck, it could be as simple as like, I have to feed my kids. I have to make the dinner every night. I have to do the laundry. I have to do this. I have to pick them up from school, right? Like, yeah, those are things they really got to do. We got to eat. We got to pick up my kids. Like they have to get home, right? So there's some things like that are have to's, but my thought about it can feel really forceful and confining. And so that's really powerful to actually say, you know what? I don't have to. Like really at the end of the day, I don't have to. They could fend for themselves in the kitchen. We could eat cereal every night. Like we don't have to. I don't have to make dinner, right? I could make them walk. I could get, I don't have to do those things. Even though it could be more just uncomfortable for them. But what I can do instead is then shift into choice and choosing. You know what? I don't have to feed them, but I choose to. I choose to pick them up. I choose to, take care of them. I choose to do the laundry. And so then what happens is because you now have choice, there's more of a freedom energy to it. And then it can invite more joy and flexibility in it. And then it releases shame or guilt or expectations and all those like heavy energies that come down on us. You can release a lot of those just simply by shifting from force to choose, like choice, from force to choice. And that can help alleviate some of those irritant energies because it's like, if I, you don't have to be around a certain person or you don't have to have certain things in place if they're bugging you. But if you do technically want to have them in that space in your world, then you could go, I don't have to, but I'm choosing to. And then it doesn't feel so irritant. You can just lean into it and go, yeah, it's kind of annoying, but I'm choosing it and it's okay. So anyway, but yes, let me know. I would love to hear some feedback on that. And honestly too, how is that resonating for everyone else here? It's so cool how when other people ask questions, it really does help others. So definitely would love to hear. All right. Okay, let me just go through and check the comments here, making sure that I'm not missing some. I love that. Oh yes, Aubrey, you get it, right? Like I love that. I definitely choose to feed my kid. Yeah, and then also too, you can lift off some of that expectation, right? Like I used to have. My mom was always she was the mother that would make us like a big homemade breakfast before we left for school every morning. I mean, whether it be scrambled eggs, pancakes, waffles, you name it, German pancakes. Like we'd always have like a big breakfast before school. And then And then for dinner, she'd always make the big dinners and make sure she has all the sides and we'd all sit down and da 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 da. Well, that's not my jam. I'm not super great. I don't really enjoy the kitchen. So I would kind of limp along and I would feel so much shame and beat myself up over it. And so I finally just said, I choose to feed my kids, but I'm not going to choose to do it like she did, because that's not honoring to me. And so I'm all about having things that they can do themselves for breakfast, and then even listening to them. They actually don't get hungry before breakfast. And I used to try to force feed them, and now I listen to them and honor it. Like, I'm like, sometimes the body likes a little more fasting period, and they don't ever complain. Like, they might just have a drink of juice or something light, and I'm okay with it now, So, all righty. All right. Hey, Aubrey. Okay. I love this. So let's look at your next comment here. I would love to know what you see for my ongoing migraine issue. No matter what I do, I seem to not be able to get rid of it fully. Yes. Let's look at this. Okay. Okay, so around you, Aubrey, I'm seeing, you, and I'm seeing kind of a pressure. It's a darker coloring energy, but it's a lot of pressure, and it's coming in and like pushing up against your head and your face. And I see you almost trying to look away from it and avoid it. Like, I don't want to look at this. It feels too big, too dark, I don't want to deal with it. So I would just kind of invite you to look at that and go, what are you avoiding to look at? What is this? Is this a person? Is this a situation? Is this a decision? Is this an action step that you're supposed to be taking? What is it that is you're not quite turning and facing? Because all it's doing is getting closer and bigger and kind of pushing this pressure on you. And it feels, energy is really interesting. It's like it almost has two aspects. For one, it's like if you focus too much on something, it grows, right? Like what you focus on grows. But the other aspect of energy is that which you ignore. If you're trying to run from something, then it can also, or avoid it, it can also get louder and louder, because it's like that. It's like a child nagging on your leg, mom, trying to get your attention, like mom, 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 and then just start screaming, mom, mom. And then finally you go, what? And their screaming stops. That's kind of what energy can be like. So whatever this in life situation, so whatever this is that is getting louder, and it actually has a few different strands, which says it could be actually kind of a combination or some things that have a few strands of a situation together. And it's just coming up, and it feels bigger and scarier. But I think that once you turn and start to face it a bit more, then it'll die down, and it won't be as big and scary. It'll start to dissipate. But there's also a level of responsibility. And I feel like just reminding you of this is that maybe this is why you're avoiding it, because there is a level of responsibility and accountability that when you know things and you have things revealed to you, then there is an element of action that you may be required to take. And if you don't take that action, then it can kind of backfire. I feel like there's things that you have been praying for, maybe some things in your heart, things that you've been praying for, maybe results that you'd like to see. Maybe if you've been praying for an enhancement of gifts and abilities or things in your life, the answer to what you're seeking may be on the other side of facing this. So it's in essence an answer to your prayers, but yet it's like, oh, I don't want this. I don't want this to be the answer. And I got to say, like, I'm going to send you so much love on that, because I think so many of us can relate, right? So be careful what you pray for, because, oh, please give me strength and fortitude. And then all of a sudden you have struggles come slamming into your life to help you to develop strength and fortitude. So it kind of feels a little bit like that. Like you've been opening up and wanting to develop more things or have different results. And then this is creeping in, and it's like, it might just be through that. And so I just want to I even just I'm going to pray for you today. I kind of feel like it's going to require some extra strength for you to turn and to face some of this. Feels heavy with the heart. And so I just want to like pray for you and just bless you with strength and to know that you're not alone and that you don't, you have what it takes. I feel like it's kind of doubting some of your abilities. Like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. And I just want to say you do. You have more than it takes, and ask and you shall receive. I feel like to remind you to ask and to remind you that you don't have to do things alone. Gosh, is that resonating with anybody else? Sometimes I feel like that's kind of a reminder for me today. It was like, no, you don't have to do all these things alone, Martina. Oh, I don't? Okay. So yes, so that is feeling a big part of that. And then there's some physical elements with the migraine issue where there's some things like hydration, like checking your hydration levels, and some belief work in the mind where it's like choosing to believe in possibilities, choosing to believe that there's hope and that there's light at the end of the tunnel. So there's something about choice and seeing the light and seeing possibilities in light. So anyway, and so let me know how that resonates. Just sending you lots of love today. And I love, look at this. You got some support here. Look at this from Natalie. Natalie's an amazing cheerleader. You are a warrior. Well, she meant to say Aubrey, but autocorrect. But yes, you are a warrior. You've got this. There is actually a strength inside you. And I don't know what you've gone through in your life too, Aubrey, but I definitely see that you are not new to struggle. Gosh, some of the energy patterns I see in you, I actually see in myself. It's kind of like it does take a little bit of extra grr to like face some of these things, but not in an angry way, but just like a strength. So I love that Natalie even pointed out warrior, because you do have some of that powerful energy. All right. Love it. Okay, let's see here. Yes, Nicole, that's another way to say it. What you resist persists and gets louder. Isn't that true with everything? You ignore that pile of laundry in the corner, it's just going to keep growing and growing. It's like, it goes for energy, it goes for dishes, it goes like, it just is funny. Like whatever you resist and don't want to look at. This is like my week for cleaning stuff up. You guys should see my to-do list. It's like, and I started looking at, I'm like, clean up the ones that are stressing you out the most, that would take a few minutes to clean up, but yet they're big and energetic space. And so I've been cleaning up stuff. All right. Okay, let's look. Hi, Stephanie. You still here? Okay, let me look at like that. And yes, okay, so I just saw your comment, Aubrey. Yeah. So sending you love, like you're like building armor or something, Aubrey, because I can just see this for you. But soul sister, sending love. All right, Stephanie. Oh, good. You are here. Great. Stephanie, let's see what comes up for you today. Okay, so first of all, there's a lot coming in around your head and like your eyes and your mind. Do you have a lot on your mind today? It just really feels like there's two aspects actually that I'm kind of seeing with the energy, and some could get overwhelming and some are actually really good. One of the things is that I can see that there could be some opening of perhaps even some of your intuitive, like your spiritual senses, like your vision. Maybe you're even receiving some downloads like from your spiritual gifts or something. Like it just feels like you could be receiving some things through your eyes, and they're just a little bit more open, and they're a little more sensitive. So they're just absorbing and learning and getting a lot of things. So that's really awesome. That's the light side of it. But the shadow side of it is like, I see your mind and your eyes almost looking around, gathering up all the things to do. Like, okay, in my house, okay, I got to do the dishes. I got to do this. I got to do this. This is coming up. I got to do this. I got to do this. Like, it's just, And it's just creating a lot of busy energy in the mind and the eyes and everything. So that's kind of good to know that there's a good light side of it and the shadow side of it. So like perhaps there's some things that you could do maybe to like really hone this. Like, can you spend a little time, you know, in like prayer or meditation and asking to just receive like what is for your highest good in this moment? What is it that you're receiving? You know, what is it that our Father in heaven is telling you right now? Like, it just feels like you're being taught or shown something. So what is it that you can receive from that aspect, and not necessarily so much of like the busy to do stuff, but like really kind of channeling, okay, what is this here to do? And then also the other side of it is to, with the stuff in your house and all the little to-do list things that you got, gather them all up. If they're coming in and they're already there, make a list, and then you can go through, and then I would just choose things to maybe take off the list so that you're not running faster than you have strength. Feels like you got a little burst of this, whoo, yes, I want to get all this stuff done. So don't exhaust yourself by, oh, I got a little bit of juice and now I'm going to just spend it all up. So just really, really mindful with what's coming in, because if you exhaust yourself physically, and this feels very much like almost like a very specific caution, is if you exhaust yourself physically and use this gift and ability in busyness and filling it all up, then you are going to detract and take away from the spiritual side of this gift. And so your spiritual, like this is going to shut down because you've already exhausted all your energy. And then you're going to be praying and be like, please help me open up my gifts again. And you'll get this again. You're like, oh, okay, I'm going to get so much done. It's like, don't get confused there. Like, really kind of be mindful so that you're using your energy for what it is that's in your highest good and what you're receiving instead of the busy stuff. So anyway, let me know how that resonates, because that was cool. That was cool. I always love to see it when people are getting an up level of some of their gifts and their abilities. So very cool. Okay, so I would love it if you could let's go to Erica. Hi, Erica. I would love you. You're such like a sunshine to me. I always just think of you as like sunshine or like sunflowers. I don't know why. All right. So I would love if you could look at my energy around my hair. It's been thinning for years and years, and I would love to serve my body better. Have you ever had your thyroid checked out? Kind of what I'm seeing is like I was just mentioning, kind of like making sure, like I was kind of saying the run and, you know, make sure that you're not running faster than you have strength. And it feels like there's something there where you have given and given, and you've kind of exhausted yourself, and that it's just like your body is now just depleted and it doesn't have what it needs. I know that thyroid stuff can be hair loss. My hair drastically thinned when I had the thyroid issues, but like the running faster and really just, I see it really being very caring and very loving, especially for family, where your heart is really good and you just want to run and you want to serve them and help them and just do all that you can. But I see the adrenals getting tired and pooped out. And so I would do the two aspects of this. Is one, I would start really listening to what it is that you're asking for, what your body and what your insides are asking for, right? Like that's soul food. I know you've heard me talk about that before, but like, you know, what's your soul food to feed your soul, but also what is your body requiring? If your body is asking for 2 naps a day, maybe say, how can I do a nap twice a day? I've mastered the art of power naps. I can go in there for 10 or 15 minutes and actually have a power nap, but I never used to be able to nap. I'm talking never, ever. And if I did, it was like a 2-hour nap and I couldn't wake up. So for me to like now listen, be able to go, okay, power nap. And really sometimes it's even just me meditating, like going and listening. Maybe I'll listen to like solfeggio frequencies or like binaural beats, or maybe I'll do meditation music and just kind of meditate and kind of rest. But I do this sometimes if I'm running fast and I have strength, I'll do it a couple times a day. So I definitely recommend listening to your body, listening to that little quiet voice that when somebody asks you to do something, is your heart and your soul saying yes or no? And if it's saying, like, if there's a resistance and like I don't really want to do that, listen to it and really honor what's going on inside, because it just feels like you need to be wrapped up in love. Like, when somebody's sick and they just wrap a blankie around them, I feel like you need to wrap a blankie around you and take care of you, like extra take care of you. So there's that aspect. And then also making sure the physical body has what it requires for support. Making sure that you have your magnesium, your potassium, your calcium, if you need iodine, your sodium, if there's vitamin D, like I would check, maybe get a blood panel or something and see what you can do to supplement and to get your body all that it needs to have the balance of your adrenals and for your thyroid. So, all right, Erica, I hope let me know how that resonates, and sending you love on this. Oh, I'm just going to highlight this one. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you for being you. That makes me want to cry. Thank you. I love you. Thank you for saying that. Oh, that's one of the best compliments you can give a person. Thank you for being you. It's like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just being me. So thank you. Oh, love it. Oh, I love this. And Erica, thank you for that. Second witness here. Love this. I resonate with it. You are the best second witness. Yeah. If that's all that just makes me happy. If that's often what happens on these things. I'm not even saying anything new to people. It's just like, I just am witnessing and being like that other voice. And most people are like, oh yeah, I knew that, or I'm feeling that, or yeah. So. And Stephanie, thank you for yours. Feeling, overwhelmed and feeling like all of a sudden you have a huge list of things to do. So I love that. Go back and listen if you weren't able to listen to it all, and I'd love to hear how that goes. Okay, let's come back up here to Natalie. Where did you go? Boo, 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 boo. Let's talk about this. I love this question. Because it's like, and those that are kind of new to watching too, because I'm so geared for agency on looking at a person's energy, I'm not going to like violate her husband's agency because he's not asking me he's not asking me, so I don't have his permission. But notice how the way Natalie phrased that, it's so beautiful. Is there a way that I can help him with his body pains? So I can check her energy and see her energy and how it interacts with him, and see what of her energy is going to be able to help and kind of go in and help, or what things are just going to bounce off and not do any good. So I love that phrasing. So thank you, Natalie. Oh, it's so good. All right. So let me see here. I'm going to just do relationship energy is actually some of my favorite to do, because it's like a ping pong. Especially if I have two people and I'm looking at it, or a situation or a job and a person, like any type of energy where it's going back and forth. It's like I can see an energy that goes one direction, and then what happens when it comes back, and then it comes back this way, and then I can see what comes back. It's like almost like a story that unfolds. Okay, so let's see here. This kind of reminds me of sometimes my dynamic. I'm sure we're not alone in this, but sometimes it feels like what you say to him, like I see you, oh, let me help. And I see it just not helping. It just feels like if he's going to get some of the answers and solutions, it's got to come maybe from an outside source. Do you guys relate to this? I've always thought it was so funny. Sometimes I would tell my husband something and I'd be like, oh, let me tell you about this. And he'd be like, kind of resistant. And then later down the road, he'd be like, you know what? Somebody told me. And it'd be exactly what I had told him. But but he just needed to come from an outside source and not be always the me telling him things. So, and then he'd be like, well, this is amazing. This is totally gonna work. I heard this from somebody else. And I'm like, that's a great idea. Like, it's me. So there's a little bit of that going, where I see it's not going to necessarily, you could talk until you're blue in the face, but it feels like too many words is actually just going to get lost in it. And so what it seems like the energy that's comes back and it feels best for you is to, oh, this is cool. For one, or the first thing is to keep focusing on healing yourself. I know that sounds kind of selfish. It's like, why would I do that? But it's because not only, I mean, yes, you'll be an example and all that stuff, but I'm talking like, if we even go deeper than that, there's things that energetically you're going to be bringing into your home. You're going to be bringing more health and vibrancy and a pain-free body and a pain-free life. And it's going to create just kind of that, like, here's some new opportunities or some new options for health and healing. And he might go, even subconsciously, he'll kind of like feel those energies of health and wellness and pain-free living. And so it's just like going to bring it into his subconscious awareness, like it's an option now, right? Because sometimes it can also feel like, oh, this is just, I have pains. This is just the way it is. I'm just getting older, the end, right? And so you're going to show that there's options and that there is hope and there is healing and there's actually even miraculous healing, right? You have that faith and you do different things to obey some of the laws of health, and there's that healing and stuff. So there's that. And then there's also, I'm seeing kind of this heart energy in you that could be useful. This is so funny. This is also something I could relate to, where sometimes when I would want to help my husband so much with something, or my children, whatever it was, and it was like, but it was part of their journey and their struggle to go through, then I would just take it in prayer. And I would be like, here's all the desires of my heart. Like, please bless them. Please let them know that I love them. And it's coming from the heart. Like, I just really want them to feel better. Or maybe I just want them to even learn something or find a solution. And so what I do is, it's like, I take it, all this prayer and heart and mind energy, and I send it up to heaven. And I'd be like, I'm not going to be able to reach him and tell him or them or children or whatever, but I would love it if you could tell them. So instead it's like this. And I've had so many cool experiences with this, where either my children or my spouse will come to me and be like, I had a dream, or I was watching this movie and I had a big aha moment, or I was talking to a person, whatever it is. And it's exactly what was the desires of my heart and all these things that I loved and I wished for them and I wanted them to know. And it was like, they received it in their own way and in their own timing. And it really reached them. And so then I could just kind of sit back and go, I love this. And now we're able to talk about it, but it wasn't me doing it. It was them having their own experience, or, man, cool things with my kids too. Like, I'd be like, hang in there, kids, watching some of them live their lives. And I would totally love to just step in and say, maybe we can make different choices or better choices. But sometimes it was like, oh, you got to have some of your own experiences, your own choices. So I would just send it all up. I just got, I've got that water slide to Jesus thing going. I'm like, I just send it up, and then just ask for, and then I'll just pray and just ask for it to come down. And then all of a sudden I'll just have my children blow me away with these life-altering lexperiences. Like, Mom, listen what happened. And I'm like, oh, this is exactly, like, this is so amazing. And it didn't come from me. And so anyway, so some of that feels very just prayer, love, send it up, and then wait for some of those other witnesses to speak to them. So anyway, let me know on that one. I sure love you. You're so cute. And such a bright star. That's such a great reminder too for all of us, right? Like, how many of us, we have people that we care about. We have situations that we care about. We want to be able to help. Like, that's like, when we care about someone or something, we want to help. So this just is a great reminder to just Sometimes we are not the ones to do it. We don't have all of the cards. We don't have all the keys to unlock those doors, and it has to come from other places. So I love it. Send it up and watch it come down. Watch those miracles. All right. I have one other thing I want to touch on, and then I'm going to go get some kids from school because we got early out today, and that's all. So today is the day that I've been working on for like a long time. Some of these little details of some things. And today is the day that later tonight, or later, maybe even this afternoon, depends on kids stuff. But so later today, you can start to sign up for the retreat. So I'm going to make a huge announcement where you can sign up for the retreat that is happening. It is the Be Brave, Be You, Arise and Shine retreat. It's all about identity, like who you are, releasing, healing things that are not you, and finding that and like getting rid of the wounding, and then to also give you the courage to rise up and to shine, to be you, and to do the things that you were called to do, the things you were created to do, right? And it all comes and stems from being brave and being you. So today is the day. The website is going to be dropping, so watch for it. I'm going to be putting it on all the pages. And there's also the little extra thing in it. So I'm making this announcement now here, because if you're wanting me to make sure that you're one of the first ones to get notified, you can also put in the comments here, retreat. I've already got a list of people that I'm going to reach out to, because space is going to be limited on this retreat. And there is something so powerful in being in the proximity of people. I have you guys missed like connecting with people? I have missed that personal one-on-one connection, and I'm so excited to have this retreat. I haven't been doing events and anything since COVID started, really, like in-person events, and I'm so excited to get in proximity with people. When you're near them, we feel the energies with each other. We can, it's like we catapult each other to the next highest level. So I'm so excited to be in the presence of anyone there at the retreat, and just to love on them and to just help. And also, there's one other little cool bonus for this. And there is sorry, I was reading the comments, and I'll answer some of these things I just saw pop up too. But then there's one other really cool thing, an aspect about the retreat, the Be Brave, Be You retreat. And that is that there is an opportunity for only like 8 people. It's not a lot of people, but I'm also doing a certification in the Brave System training, which is my, it's basically just like a framework I'm just calling it like a framework for ultimate liberation, because it includes everything. Like we have our mind, our body, spirit, energy. We've got, so B is like anything with your beliefs in your mind. Also too, like we talk about the training with breath work. We're integrating some of these Brave training healing practices into the retreat as well. R is like the remedies. A is an action step to take. V is things verbalize or visualize. The E is anything with our energy systems, our emotions, any of the entities, anything that messes with us. And then the systems are like our body systems and any other modalities and methods that you've learned, like you can plug it in. It's like really like this ultimate framework. And so I've got only a handful of people that I'm taking. Actually, I've already got some people that have already committed. So like the space is gonna be really limited on that. So if you're interested, don't forget to put underneath. And then today, when it is out for people to start signing up, you'll be one of the first to know. So I'm super excited over this. Makes me want to cry. Like I'm so excited. It's going to be down here in St. George area. So there's going to be sun. We're going to go, there's so much like healing down here. There's like really cool healing labyrinth. It's all inclusive. You'll get your meals. It's in a retreat. It's in a beautiful like home down here, a retreat home with, we got hot tub, we got pools, and you can still swim and you can still do all that stuff in November here. And so and then this little snow canyon area. Oh my goodness, the stars at night. We're going to do some stargazing and to really it just is like, because you're not near a big city, so you just can see all the stars. And I mean, those are just like the fun perks. That's not even just the activities and the learning and the connecting and everything that we're going to be doing. So I am so excited for that. So I love you, Stephanie. That was amazing. Re-stinking treat. Woo! Yeah, I've known since the beginning of the year that this one was coming in the fall. And the dates on it are November 11th, 11/11. Beautiful 11/11/2021. I mean, just like such beautiful numbers, and the energy feels so good for that weekend. So it's going to be amazing. And so I'll just end here really fast. I just saw this for Nicole. I gotta send this to you, because like I said, Nicole, you've been popping in my head lately. So we're going to just, as we're reading, we didn't know what. So I just had the thought to ask if you have an energy gift for me. Maybe just singing I can connect to. Oh, I love that. Let me see what comes up. I love that. An energy gift. I'm seeing, I love this. This makes me want to cry, Nicole. So when I asked like what gift I could give you, what I saw was like an actual box that's kind of in front of you. This makes me want to cry. Oh, that's funny. Just singing something, not singing. Something. So it's something I can connect to. Okay. So I'm like, singing. You want me to sing to you? I'll sing. I'm like the karaoke queen. I love singing. Not I say karaoke queen. I've never I've sung it in like funerals and public like that. I was in choir, but I don't normally sing. Okay, so let's look at, so let me share with you what came up, because this makes me want to cry. So I saw a box in front of you, and it catches your tears. And it is, it's like a witness. It's a witness box. So all of your tears and all of the things that you're feeling and thinking and going through, like it's just captured in this box. It kind of goes along too with that whole sanctification theme. It feels like a witness box, that your tears and the things that you feel and the things that you care for and that you're going through, you are bearing witness. Whoa, that's really cool. You are bearing witness. And that these things are being captured, and that they are being captured and recorded in heaven. And that you actually are, like, you have almost an important role here. I'm not sure. It feels like you actually have some insights on some of this, but there's something about your role that you're here to do on this earth. And that part of your role is something with being a witness, as well as being some kind of messenger, like being a witness and a messenger. I love even like thinking about like being a witness for Christ and testifying of Christ. And so that witness and being a messenger of it kind of goes hand in hand there. And that, also that you are serving the world and serving others just by, to do the work on yourself, you are also serving others. There's a type of gift of like, I want to use the word transmuting, like where you can take some of these pains or some of the things that come up, and because you can work through and navigate and heal it and grow and change it, then you're helping to clear the not only things for yourself, but you're serving mankind. You're serving mankind to like transmute it and like, here, I'm going to make it better, and I'm going to heal it, and I'm going to, send it to Christ. And because you're working through, then it like, then you're going to kind of add to the collective of showing people, even just on a very subconscious level, how to overcome, and at least how to know it exists, right? Because some of what you're transmuting is now going to go into the air, and other people can kind of be that radar and pick it up and go, oh, it's possible now. And it's part of what you created and you brought to others. So that is super beautiful, super, super beautiful. So thank you for asking that. Thank you guys for being here. I'm off to get kids. And Karen, I just want to say a shout out to you. I adore you. And if I could sometime like fly you out here for a retreat, I'm going to do it. It's not even like an if, it's a when. It's a when, because I would love to have you come to one of these retreats. I just love you. So love you, love you. Shout out to you. And yes, love it. Okay. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful day today. Keep a lookout for when the website, when I start dropping it. I'm not even going to give the name of the website yet. It's very cool. It's a domain that I knew that I've hung on to for a while, and it's just been sitting there because I knew there was something for it, and I was like, this is it. So I'll be posting that out. And so look for it for today. And in the meantime, check in with yourselves. See is like, I would love, the retreat, like be brave, be you. Like, I know there's the healing aspect of the retreat, but really start retreat and really check in with yourself and your heart and your mind. If it feels best to do just a retreat, or also if you're one of my handful of people that is going to go through the Brave System training, where you get to work with me a bit beforehand. There's some extra training, some private sessions with me, and then also you get an additional bonus. You come early at the retreat, and there's just going to be a handful, small group of us to really have a really powerful experience for those that are going through the Brave System training. And then we'll just kind of create that space and then open it up for the rest of everyone else when they arrive on 11/11. So check in to see if you're meant to be there, and which level, which place. Is there which spot is there a place for you? Because I feel the people, and I feel you guys, and I love you, and I'm excited to just pour some love on in person. Ooh, so exciting. So have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon.